So welcome guys back to another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We are back with another video on January the 2nd, I believe it is, on the Monday, and we are going to be talking about the latest and greatest of Arsenal transfer news today. And where else to start? I think we'll be talking about this guy for a while, but hopefully not much longer, as Arsenal are one more step closer in their pursuit of Mudryk. It's Mykhailo Mudryk. Still not sure. But Mykhailo Mudryk. And it looks like we have finally now agreed personal terms in principle with Mykhailo Mudryk and his agent to be able to sign the player. And it does look like an improved offer is set to go into Shakhtar Donetsk in the next hours to try and secure a deal. There's also been some reports to suggest that a deal could be concluded within the next 12 to 48 hours. Now, as of recording, there's maybe a day left of that, and the transfer window has definitely opened all around Europe now. So it looks like Arsenal will have a willingness to accelerate this deal for their potential new signing and wrap it up as soon as possible. Now, as we know, Mudryk is very keen on signing for Arsenal, and we discussed that yesterday. But it seems like personal terms formally have now been agreed. I don't think he was ever in doubt for the fact that Mudryk would not want to come to Arsenal. It seems very obvious that he is keen to work under Mikel Arteta and join us on our title charge for the rest of the season. But I want to look a bit more into Mudryk and look into transfer market and see how he's been doing this season. So, in looking into my little computer here, as if I'm totally looking to this computer right now. But in the Champions League, he's made 6 appearances with 3 goals and 2 assists. So he's had 5 goal contributions across 6 Champions League games, picking up only 2 yellow cards. In the Premier Liga, which I believe is the league in Ukraine, 12 appearances, 7 goals and 6 assists. So he has 13 goal contributions within 12 games. He's also picked up a red card along with 3 yellow cards. So he might be one of those ones. He might be ill-disciplined. Might be a Granit Xhaka player. Might have to sort that one out. But he's been participated in 45% of Shakhtar Donetsk's goals this season. So it just shows how influential he is at that stage. He's played 78% of the minutes with being in the starting 11, 85% of the time. His predominant position is on the left wing. That is where he's been doing majority of his damage this season. And he can operate on the right wing, and according to Transfer Market, he can also operate as a number 10 in that attacking mid role. Now, his predominant position is left wing. At the moment, we have Gabriel Martinelli playing there, and as good as Mudryk seems to be, I can't see him displacing Martinelli anytime soon. Now, for me, I think he might be more of a rotation player amongst those 2 wing positions. So he can come on at left wing, he can come on at right wing, and he can make an impact on both those sides. And he has played for Shakhtar on the right and still done damage. So it's not like he can't play there, he can play there. He is right-footed, so he can play on the right hand side, but obviously some players do like to cut in on their favourite foot instead of playing on that side, if you know what I mean. And you know, we've seen players at Arsenal do that as well, like Pepe, left footed but played on the right. So in that respect, Mudryk can play on either side, but he will definitely be one who's going to be playing back up to Saka and Martinelli on either wing. If any of them get hurt, rotation, Europa League coming up, FA Cup coming up, someone like Mudryk would definitely be playing rotation to those players, and he'd be pretty adequate backup, I would like to think. And he's got, you know, he's been involved in many goals this season for Shakhtar. In total, he's scored, I think he's got 7 in the league and he's got 3, so he's got 10 goals in all competitions with about 7-8 assists. So he's doing all right for himself this season, Mudryk. So I'd like to see him at Arsenal. I'd really like to see him at Arsenal. 21 years old, I believe. And he's got a lot of talent ahead of him. I've talked about him yesterday, and probably anyone watching this has probably heard all about Mudryk anyway, and all the information I've been saying you probably already know, but it's good to obviously get a reminder of the player he is. And Arsenal have agreed personal terms for us to sign Mykhailo Mudryk to be a new signing for Arsenal. And hopefully, I'm I'm hopeful that we can secure this deal in the next few days, and I'm hopeful because we want to move on to other targets. We have other plans. I would like to think in this January transfer window, we can't be stuck all windows just talking about one player. We've been through that route so many times as Arsenal fans. So it'd be nice to get this one done early, quick and early, get him into the side, get him training with the team, because as much as just wanting the saga to be over, it's important for the player to be integrated within the side for him to start playing games, get settled into the UK, things like that. So that's probably more important. And he's also dropped another hint on Instagram. This guy just keeps dropping hints everywhere. But his latest hint actually is him. I think it's a clip of some of his highlights, and in the audio you can hear Guna. So you could probably check that one out when you can. But that's the news on Mykhailo Mudryk. Personal terms have been agreed. Just a case of now sending a package to Shakhtar Donetsk, which will be acceptable for Mykhailo Mudryk. The next player I wanted to talk about is a World Cup winner. Who's just won the World Cup with Argentina, and he goes by the names of Alexis Mcallister. A player that I've been fondly watching throughout the World Cup. I watched all of Argentina's games, and he's one player that definitely impressed me. He is, in my opinion, way too good for Brighton. He is immensely good, and I'd like to see him in our team. I feel like he would be more of a... if we don't get someone like Tielemans would be a player that would play in Xhaka's position. McAllister's someone who can play in Xhaka's position. Someone like McAllister, even his partner at Brighton, Caicedo, is another amazing player. Brighton have so many good players. All the time they churn out talent like they have so much talent. It's crazy. I'd even take Caicedo, but he's probably worth around 80 million. McAllister probably about the same, and is that sort of money? Are we going to put that sort of money on a midfielder that probably won't play games? Probably not, but we are interested in Alexis McAllister. There is interest amongst us and Chelsea, I believe. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do try. But I think we should be in the running to sign someone like McAllister. He's done an incredible World Cup, and obviously World Cup tax can inflate prices, and we've already seen that with this compatriot Enzo Fernandez at Argentina, and his price has been crazied up to 120, 130 million. So if Brighton see that Fernandez is going for 120, 130, they'll be thinking, whoa, McAllister has been the same, if not even better than Fernandez. So why can't we get that sort of money for our player? And it's the same thing we're seeing with Mudryk and Shakhtar saying, look, if they paid this much, then I think our player's worth this much. And to be honest, it's fair for them to think that. If one team's inflating the price of a player, then the next team will think, well, I can get that price for our player. It's just basic business. So I think in that case, McAllister will probably be unattainable, at least for this transfer window, I'd like to think. But look, McAllister is a player that he's a very good player, and I'd love to have him at Arsenal. You'd be a very ideal Xhaka backup, and we'll talk about Tielemans in a second. But again, McAllister, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you take someone like Alexis McAllister? Would you pay 80 odd million pounds to sign someone like McAllister in the January transfer window? Because it looks like we're going to have to put a significant amount of money towards Mudryk anyway. So are we going to spend 80 on Mudryk, 70, 80 again on McAllister? Are we going to do that kind of money in a January transfer window? It seems very unlikely. The fact that we've been spending 60, 70 on Mudryk is going to be crazy in itself. We don't do that, and it might be our record signing depending on what the final fee is for Mykhailo Mudryk. But I don't think we'll do a significant outlay on a midfielder. And in this window, I think we'd like to bring in a midfielder from what I can gather, but I don't think we'd be willing to spend that kind of money. But very good player. Arsenal have an interest in McAllister, but we'll have to see. I don't have his picture up for some reason, but we're going to be talking about Youri Tielemans. Now, this is more of a... It's not a link in the window, but Arsenal do have a long-standing interest in Youri Tielemans, and we have spoken about it on the channel before, and we talked about it in the summer transfer window, how Arsenal were and probably still are very keen on Youri Tielemans. And when Arsenal didn't get him towards the end of the window, the understanding then became, well, Arsenal probably looking to try and get him on a free transfer. He didn't start for Leicester against Liverpool, which was interesting. But the latest team to be interested in Youri Tielemans is actually Newcastle. Newcastle reportedly have an interest in Youri Tielemans and want to pay money to sign him now. Now, he has 6 months remaining on his contract, and Arsenal do ideally want to get him on a free. So what do Arsenal do? Because I think Tielemans would be tempted by Newcastle. They're also doing very well this season. They're sitting in third, flying high. Eddie Howe's a manager that's improving all the players that he's been working with. So Tielemans might be tempted with that, and I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal don't make a move. So do Arsenal try and get a pre-contract agreement signed now for the summer? Do they just play the waiting game, or do Arsenal just put the money down and say, look, whatever Newcastle are gonna pay for Tielemans that Leicester will accept, we'll just match that and let the player decide. But it may be a case of we might have to rush a decision on Yuri Tielemans if Arsenal really do want him. If he's a player that Arsenal do really want, then we might have to put the money down in this window and say, look, we want the player. Arteta, if Arteta wants the player, then we might have to put that money down this window. And to be honest, I'm all for it because we need someone to be back up to Granit Xhaka to play in that role he plays in. And I think Yuri Tielemans would be ideal along with this guy here. But Tielemans would obviously be the cheaper option, probably a more experienced option. But as I said, I really like Mykhailo, especially watching him in the World Cup, and a lot of you probably would have as well. But Tielemans probably looks like the more attainable option, which is why we could sign him in this window, or it could be in the summer window. I do see a signing Tielemans, but I feel like maybe Newcastle might swoop in, but we'll have to see. But that's it for today's Arsenal Transfer News Daily. If you haven't enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content this month. The response from yesterday's video was very good, so hopefully we'll be continuing with these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.